Thank you all for coming today on a Saturday, and we will try to make it as fun and comfortable as possible. And really want to thank very much our NSF partnership in terms of bringing this this event and also this competition. So I want to introduce Jack Brazil back there, who is with NSF, and want to thank him very much. And Jack, one of the things that we hope you'll do is, like, throughout the day, you should jump in and either like update us on information or correct us on anything, but it would be great to get your feedback throughout the day too as well, and input. So thank you. Also want to thank the eBay folks for giving us this great space to do this event today. And we will, Laura Watkins, who I'm not sure where she is, she may not be in the room. Oh, she's back there anyway. She was actually at the desk, but they have really been instrumental in helping us pull the space together, and thanks to the mayor's office for making the connection for us. And you'll hear from them very shortly too as well. So part of what stopped work. Okay. Part of what I'm going to do this morning is give you background in terms of and in terms of Mozilla and who we. Right. A little bit further? Okay, is that better? All right, he's the expert here. Okay, all right, obviously I have not been a rock star before. So at any rate, so I'm gonna give you a little background on the competition and who Mozilla is. And for those of you who do not know, Mozilla is a nonprofit public charity. We are here to fuel the movement. And the goal of what Mozilla Foundation is focused on is the nonprofit charity. And then we have the Mozilla Corporation that actually sits under the Mozilla Foundation. The foundation has about 85 people who work there, and the corporation actually has about 1,100 people, and we have offices across the world in terms of that. So, and for those who don't know, we started out as Netscape in 1998, and is the reason I think we have free browsers these days. So a very good thing. So we continue to build on that base and build on our community and our volunteers as well. And this continues to be an effort towards that. Why we're here today? We're here to talk about the challenge, and we hope that's why you are here too. Is that we were asked by NSF to help run this challenge for them, and specifically, as you know, it's a $2 million prize challenge over the next couple of years. And the goal is to really focus on two different challenges, and it's about connecting the unconnected. The first challenge is called the Off the Grid Internet Challenge. And the goal of this is really, how do we communicate after any kind of a disaster, natural or otherwise? And there are still not, obviously, good ways for us to do that, despite 9/11, despite Hurricane Sandy in this area. And so NSF recognizes that this is still something that needs to be resolved. And this is a very, very critical part of what we want to focus on here. The second challenge is the Smart Community Network, and this is about connecting the unconnected in communities that aren't already connected, and using existing infrastructures in a city. And I think this is something that many cities are dealing with, but that is the second part of the challenge. They're two separate challenges. They may be related, but two separate ones that all end up in the same place. So, and we'll talk more about that in the groups too as well. And why are we doing this in the way that we're doing this? I think one of the ways that we think is important is, like, it's really important to get the community voice into this, and the community needs ingrained into developing the kinds of protocol, the prototypes will be best used for communities. So the idea is bringing together researchers and technologists and community folks who can do these problem-solving things together and develop something that will not only work in your communities, but communities across the country. So the two challenges each have two stages. One is the concept stage, in terms of being able to spend time designing concepts and ideas that have been researched and thoroughly designed. So that's the first stage of each of the challenge. And the second stage is the prototype, coming up with a prototype after you go through the concept stage, to have the opportunity to actually demo and actually build something that may work in the community. Whoops. I think I skipped one. Wait, no. Okay. So here's the timeline for the challenges. Submissions will open in mid-June, and this is a submission for the concept phase of it, the design concept. We'll accept submissions beginning in June, and you'll have obviously a few months to work on these together, and that will end October of this year, and then the winners will be announced at the end of December. After that will be the working prototype stage of the competition, and again, you'll see that there will be time to work on those, and that those winners will be announced in July of 2018. Here's another way for those who need a more visual approach to what the timeline looks like. Again, it's building community now, so there's be plenty of time to do that, and ultimately ending next in the summer of 2018, where we have an opportunity to actually celebrate and showcase the winners of the competition. This is probably the most exciting for a lot of folks, that there's actually prizes involved in this, and a very thoughtful way of doing this, so that you will see here that the prizes for the concept stage are first place is $60,000, and with honorable mentions at the end, and at the working prototype stage, the top prize is $400,000. And these are awards, not grants, and so there is a difference. And so with awards, you'll have the opportunity to determine how actually you will use that money. And so that's sort of the basic pieces of the competition itself. And again, it's two separate challenges, but all coming to the same, using the same timeline and coming to the same conclusions at the end. And we'll have an opportunity to dig into those later today and have the chance to to do some thinking and brainstorming and meeting other folks who are wanting to work on this. And our idea here today with these launch events is to bring together researchers, technologists, and community members to do that. So how does this fit into the work that we're doing at Mozilla? It actually is it's a project that fits really well into our mission of having a healthy internet. So I'm going to give you a little bit of sense of where Mozilla is on this front in terms of our goal towards creating a healthy internet by fueling the movement. So we are focused on 5 different issue areas at Mozilla. And you'll see here there's online privacy, which is really about personal safety. We spent a lot of time talking about this actually at a NetGame meeting we had yesterday, of which many people here in the room were part of. Open innovation, being able to innovate together and build things together and working in an open environment. Decentralization, so that many of the work that we're doing is localized, and that the power actually, lies in communities being able to do this together. Web literacy is about ensuring that all people are web literate. It's one of the things I work on, and our hope is that web literacy becomes the 4th R next to reading, writing, and math. It's like, if you're going to function in the world today, you're going to have to know how to be web literate and know how to work on the internet. And digital inclusion is very much tied to that. We want to ensure that everyone has access to those skills and opportunities that they need, even in the most challenging communities. So those are 5 issues, and these challenges that we're talking about very well fit into these pieces and give a voice to community in a way that we know is necessary. And one of the ways to keep up with what we're doing is that we've created an internet health report to start reporting out on the issues around those related to those 5 issue pieces. And what we want to do is start telling stories. We need to hear from you all about the kinds of things that are happening into your community. We want to help provide solutions, ways of sharing, and to be able to help us to figure out how close are we to getting to a healthy internet. So feel free to go to that and keep up with that. We'll be sending out updates on that piece of it as well, and so it's a great way to keep up with these pieces. So again, application window will be open for the design concept phase, and if you have any questions, you can definitely send an email to wirelesschallenge@mozillafoundation.org. And that's connected to a person. Mayhan is usually the person who ends up getting those requests and answering them and figuring out what's next. So Let me go to the last slide is goals for the day. So as again I mentioned, really what we want today to be is an opportunity for you all to better understand what these two challenges are about, how to think about creating the kinds of teams that you might want to pull together to submit a solution for each of the challenges, and better understand how this also fits into Mozilla's overall framework of internet health. And I also want to point out that that this competition is happening across the country. And so one of the things that we hope to do is to also be able to connect you with other people across the country who are working this too as well. And the opportunity to form teams in that way, and we will be coming up with options for how to connect with other people who have signed up for these. In fact, we have some folks from Colorado as well. So we were somebody from Colorado, right, who has come to this challenge because we were planning on having one in Boulder, and he's here at this one instead. So lots of opportunities to do that. So anyway, so I think that's it in terms of how this fits and where we're going for the day. Any questions, thoughts? Go ahead.
When you say decentralization, what specifically do you mean?
Decentralization in terms of how Mozilla's been talking about is the ability to localize, right? And so being able to adapt things to the communities that you're working in. And so like much of the powers in the community, being able to take the kinds of solutions that come up and being able to adapt it to your own community. And if you go to the Internet Health Report, you'll get a lot more information about what that is. So I recommend you do that. Yes.
Where on your site is a lot of information you just covered?
So if you go, let's see, I think it's in the right there. So if you actually go to this HTTP Mozilla, right, NSF wins underscores a lot of that information, that's where you guys can go. Yeah. So it
redirects from that URL to your homepage, and then I can't get anything that's NSF.
Right. We will. Those are part of the things that we're working on right now. But we will send you separate links for various pieces. So there will be a website that will be more specific to this challenge coming shortly, and you'll be able to find it through that. Yes.
Is there a location? I'm not going to ask you to go through the whole thing
Sure.
now, but the background, the underlying terms and conditions of the challenge.
Those are coming too as well. Yeah, they will be coming. So we're working on those rules and regs right now, and that will be coming very shortly too.
Because there's a normal set of NSF regs for
Exactly.
intellectual property and the like.
Right.
And if this is not under those rules, that needs to be explicit very soon.
Yes.
Otherwise, it'll be impossible to put together cooperation.
Absolutely, right. And that website will be going up shortly with those rules and regs, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We're working on that right now. Yes.
So when you say adaptability, do you also mean you're taking into account language acquisition as well?
I'm sorry, can you
Are you also doing do you offer the report in different languages so that
Are you talking about the Internet Health Report, or are you talking about, so that's part of what's happening on the Mozilla side, is that they're working on translation into different languages, which is harder to do than one thinks, right? Without a doubt, because sometimes the concepts don't translate over, and culturally they don't always adapt to various communities, especially for the global work that we do. But it's a challenge, and any feedback you have for how we can do that better is more than welcome. Any other questions? Great. All right. If not, we're going to transition to our panel. So if the panelists can come up front.